he does a ranger hat. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to officially welcome you into this, the Mammoth-sized cave of Kentucky. We thought ginormous, but a couple hundred years ago, the word was mammoth to describe things of sheer size and volume. There are no mammoth bones found in the fossil record of Mammoth Cave. It's simply big. Now, back in the 1830s, somebody was on a tour just like you are, and they left Mammoth Cave, and as they went on to social media, on TikTok, they said that the cave was grand, gloomy, and peculiar. Now today, I'm going to share a few stories with you. As a federal worker, I'm allowed to have an opinion. I am not allowed to share that opinion. So you're going to have to decide as to whether you think the stories are grand, gloomy, or peculiar. First one, did you see the boxes in the first room, and the boxes here, and the wooden pipeline that was used? The first person to ever own what would be called Mammoth Cave was a Revolutionary War veteran. General Washington did not have all the money to give you for your time in the Army of the Potomac. But now that the British didn't own the land west of the Appalachians, you received land grants, pennies on the dollar. After both my deployments to Afghanistan, I waited for my land grant. Still waiting. Simmons wanted the less than desirable 200-acre tract of land because it had 2 entrances of caves on it, and that meant money. Dry cave, there's a bacteria in our soil. It takes the atmospheric nitrogen, which is about 80% of our atmosphere. It holds that nitrogen in place, and Simmons knew he could wash that out of the dirt. He would make small boxes by the waterfall. 60 pounds of dirt would yield 1 pound of final product. He was attempting to make the main ingredient of black gunpowder, saltpeter. Small profit margin, but people still wanted in on that profit margin, so over the next decade, the cave ownership changed hands nearly 10 times. Each time it is sold, it gets closer and closer to this industrial version. And the reason the industrial version is here is because of the fact that our 5th president, a man named Madison, declares war against the British on the 18th day of June, 1812. 304 rock shelters and caves go into the business of producing saltpeter. Of the 304, 209 were in Kentucky. That's 2/3. They tell me that this was the 3rd most productive operation. As many as 500 pounds a day to equal over 400,000 pounds of saltpeter. 2 12-hour shifts down here. How many of you ever worked a 12-hour shift? Keep your hand, right? Keep your hand up if you would do it for a week straight for free. Hey, it's okay. These young workers didn't want to do it either. But you were born into slavery. And they were. Because there was more color in their skin than someone else, these individuals were not considered as you were. I think we've come a long way in 200 years, but there's still room to make it better. These young men working down here, working for a government that would never recognize them, providing the very freedom that the individuals in government would take for granted. These boys had their blood, sweat, and tears left in Mammoth Cave. Freedom has never been free. It has always come at a very heavy price. I went to Afghanistan twice. Anybody else enlist in the military? Raise your hand if that's you. You and your families know exactly how difficult freedom is to provide. And these young men, they work just as hard as myself and those families that have service members. I hope to meet these boys someday. And as a representative of the federal government, I hope that they will understand the reverence that I have for them and the work they did inside Mammoth. Day in, day out, for you. The Treaty of Ghent was signed on the 24th day of December in Belgium, ending the War of 1812. The young men that were here were sent back to their owners. should have been given the freedom that they helped provide, but they didn't. These young men had no idea you'd be here someday. No idea that this disabled combat veteran would talk about them and encourage you to think the good universe, or call it whatever you want to. But you need to understand that you're a blessed person. To be in a world where slavery still exists, but it's not to the level it used to be. Any native Kentuckians in our group today? Couple? Okay. Folks, if you're an American citizen, you have the state of Kentucky to thank for your royal birthright. Third most productive operation of saltpeter. More men died from Kentucky in the War of 1812 than all the other states combined. Grand, gloomy,